Morning. Someone's running late, and for some reason my streaming software got glitched, so all my templates are messed up, but we can roll with this. See what we got here. Probably not gonna be able to change. I see it's all messed up. Wait, let me see, maybe I can do it like this. Yeah, so profile wise, let me see if everything is yeah, right. So profile wise, basically bouncing from the lows, not really the lows, but like at least the green box, like the top here is the buy where the buyers were most aggressive. We're trading above it, so overall I'm looking for that POC from last week, 166. Let's see what happens there. Obviously we're in rollover. If we'll see tomorrow. Yesterday was a very tight, choppy range. The probability of us doing this again are there. Regardless, especially if we start trading above prior range high, I'll be looking for a gap close. Still like a gap close at 25,000, 70s, 80s ish. If we start trading above. Because we're kind of pushing in the current overnight session. So I'm going to do my overnight session real quick. Obviously, that's messed up too. It's not even in there. What happened? Right, I'm going to have to do it like this. Still got 5-6 minutes till the open. Again, this profile, just the upper end of it is just trending. It's kind of annoying. Debating here what to use, high volume nodes or sell pressure. I'll be using that high volume node at 25,000. Very trendy looking profile in the overnight, especially after last hour. We broke out of balance, pushing up. So I'm anticipating a strong open. Just putting in my lower levels here. So basically my overnight levels are overlapping with yesterday's session. Trading against the highs from yesterday. See if I can pull up my DEEPCHARTS tournament account too. Not sure if it's the right moment to do so. Morning. What is the red side? Red side is both yesterday's highs and in the overnight the highs and aggression, sell aggression, high volume node. Basically looking for reactions on those or firm. Morning, Mr. Shetty, Dr. J.P. Shetty. Doing good. Hope we get some more movement in yesterday. On a higher time frame, we are trading back into range after we swept lows last week. I'm still anticipating a little bit up, but at the same time, I kind of want to fade it too. Just marking out the session with the gap. That's still open. So for upside, looking for the gap close. If the gap closes, I'm looking for trades towards that POC last week. If we go past that POC from last week, it's not really much stopping it from going to last week's highs. Obviously, we are in rollover, and obviously yesterday was the tiniest session in the whole wide world, and could happen again. So we don't want to get too excited for things to happen. Really, kind of need to be more somewhat on the safe side, especially until FOMC has been resolved. Well, that 5-minute close bullish. That's something I would want to short against you at this point. feels slow again. Kind of was anticipating somewhat of a pullback towards 20s for a potential entry. Definitely don't want to enter here. I mean, it's even struggling to close at this point a 10-point gap. Come on. So far, we're getting the same yesterday. We're gonna close the gap. I mean, at least on my screen, this is the gap. I mean, the close of that session from the gap, like the 11th of March, the profile says it's 25,081-ish. But if I look at price action, the last hour she pushed lower towards 25,025. That means there is no more gap. So for some reason, DeepCharts profile RTH session doesn't count the last hour of price action. Might need to ask the developers or support what's up with that. Either way, the gap is tapped on the profiles. Kind of want to lean to the bullish side above prior range high and overnight high. And only fade if she fails. But yeah, slow price action. Trying to see what we got for news. Seems like we got no news. No red folder news, at least. Tomorrow we got PPI before the open. Yeah, FOMC in the afternoon. Thursday we got jobless claims before the open. And then Friday we got triple witching. Interesting week. Trying to be patient here, trying to be picky too, because she's moving so slow. I'm gonna grab myself a cup of coffee real quick. Stay awake for this. There's no need to FOMO into anything. I just need good trade location. And this is not it so far, or continuation long, but it's not even really pulling back much. kind of want to see a little bit more of a pullback for that. The orb background. There's multiple ways to do this. Wait, so the IVB, I don't think the IVB allows you to color a background, but you can adjust line colors, obviously. But it's more this one. This is session marker. Like you can mark Asia, London, US session, and the opening range, for example. So in this case, you can use like just hide everything else, which I did in this case, and then only show the opening price and then the orb, and then you could just pick colors and lines and whatever you want. I think I have it set to the first 30 minutes here. Yes. But regardless, I'm gonna get some coffee. I'll be right back. which is really, really slow today too. I mean, we're in a 150 point range. Does the long make sense? It's slow once again. I think this is going to be the case until FOMC is resolved. Maybe tomorrow she picks up before. Feels like today is going to be somewhat of the same of yesterday. Maybe I'm not doing myself a favor just looking at the 5 minute these days. No, nothing. Kind of want to look for longs above 25,000. Basically overnight high, prior range high. And potentially look for fades to the downside if you start filling these levels. I'm just not a fan of shorting against these levels at this point in time. This looking somewhat strong. Even though sellers are starting to step in. In general, I don't like to long against these levels. We did sweep like highs of 2 sessions, like yesterday and Fridays. So if that fails, I really like the short more than the long now, but at the same time, I don't want to expect too much of price action. Because we could do just literally the same thing as yesterday and just consolidate between the high and the low we've created right now. I'm looking at the 5 minutes right now. This is just brutal to trade, long or short. This thing is also just from a bubble perspective. Like, even though my bubbles are at 90, let's put them at 60. Just not that much happening. So unless we close above that prior 5-minute candle, or above the red bubbles in general, this is not absorption, and then this will just consolidate. If that makes sense. So bar stepped in here, they pushed up, but it pushed against the wall. So they kind of need to push through, or it's going to be a wall. At the same time, on the bottom here, SR step in. If they're unable to push through and price can close above that candle, might be looking for entries towards that naked prior weekly point of control. For shorts, I really don't like to short against or above prior range high. If she decides to sell off, there's plenty of meat on the bone to get involved if she decides to expand. Definitely looks strong above these levels. There's just no oomph in the market, right? She's really, really slow. Now and then you get those impulse moves. It's very easy to get trapped that you think the market might start moving. Not really has happened either. Like, too, like, for example, price opened up against the highs. The open pushed through prior range high, closed that gap, and now we're just pulling back towards the prior range high. So this is gonna be somewhat of an area I want to do business, but at the same time, she's still gonna be moving like she's moving right now. So painful. So SAR stepped back in, trading below the red bubble. So at this point, especially if you close below, SAR's in control. Buyers trying to step in here. I just got a little bit of PTSD from yesterday where she trades around the same levels and just chops around those levels for the whole day. This could be the best bet to short fade the whole move. It's not financial advice by any means. So only short kind of was after that bearish close at 65.70s. Not something I wanted to short. Just trying to see if it made sense to do so. Structure-wise, yes, just not the trade location. But candles are moving a little bit, so that's good. That probably was the move of the day. What is she trying to do? I kind of like it short, but I have to look for longs. It's usually not a good sign. There indeed is absorption, buyer step in. Just a pullback. Would make sense though. But so slow. mean, overall target would be that point of control, but she probably does the same thing she's been doing yesterday and not going anywhere. It's gonna depend how we close here. Not the biggest fan. Still rejecting that block here, so we're seller set in. The issue is it's not really going anywhere too, right? So the buy blocks get respected. At the same time, the sell blocks too, because it's just that compressed, especially on that 5-minute time frame here. It needs to move, show some results to basically play those. Otherwise, it's just chop city. I feel this is even more brutal than yesterday. Fall asleep. Come on, NASDAQ. You can do it. A little bit of a sell-off, perhaps, NASDAQ. Would you be so kind to do so? Super balance. Had a big buyer here. Trying to load up ES here to see what's up, but she doesn't want to play for some reason. Yo, CJ, what's up, man? Painfully slow price action. Just not something willing to go long from, it seems. Yo, CJ, if you hear this, can you tell me what's your range low of the session of the 11th? Basically, on my chart, it opened as a gap, or was still an open gap, around the 25,080s. March the 11th, range low. Kind of need to look for longs above 25,015. But I kind of want to be involved if she decides to retest IB low. So that could be a little bit of a gamble, really, because she hasn't been moving at all. It's basically barcoding for the last 20 minutes. So one candle that closes above or below bullish or bearish could be as well nice trap sign. I'm just thinking about trade location here. Although we're not moving. We're not moving. Sellers are pushing it though, but it's got a way to go. Kind of can smell it what it wants to do, but I kind of also just don't want to go short right here. from a daily profile perspective, this is just balance. So still kind of want to see it push out of balance and then short. This session is brutal, more brutal than yesterday for sure. I mean, yesterday was it's basically doing the same thing ish. That's what I'm worried about too. Then from a weekly perspective, it looks like it wants that weekly POC. From a daily perspective, we're trading above multiple range highs. That's bullish. Currently trading above overnight high and so bullish, value bullish. But there's no juice. Or is there? I just don't want to get involved in makeup trades, as in getting bored and anticipating price to lose structure, drop back into the overnight range, and then flush the whole move up, down. Because that sounds great in my head, but if she's not moving, she's not moving, especially for a short. And it does look more obvious for a long, but momentum is not really there, I feel. So that was, for example, a good lows. Very likely to long the top of the range. Everything just leans bullish profile wise. Basically confirmed for a second time that we want to bounce. Not the most ideal trade location, price action to do so probably, but I guess we're rolling with it. delta is just flat here for the last nearly an hour. Kind of want to see it stay above that grouping of POCs. Could have been somewhat more patient to put my order on those levels. Or around those levels. Are we really gonna print a doji? NASDAQ? It's not even ticking above the prior high of the 5 minute. Can we just start doing something like that, NASDAQ? At least just try to tick it with one tick. This could be the one and done. Win or lose. Nice doji, NASDAQ. Nice. Like look at all those POCs here. They're all up here. Stop limit orders are not supported. Okay. It's an indicator called bar puck. Kind of want to see this zone hold. Potentially gonna get aggressive if we move above prior candles because. I guess that's still high of the range. NASDAQ, not the biggest fan here. To be expected. Could still work, but it's not a fan how this is moving. Sellers are pushing it hard here. Does that mean we go up? Kind of want to see it wake above the prior highs candles so I can start somewhat reducing my risk towards the area we just bounced from. But it's not even. Move above the box. This could reject here hard. Kind of want to see it trade above rather sooner than later because this is not looking hot. Move above the prior high candle. I kind of need to drop it. It's super weak. Did it do it? Yeah, it did work above it. Kind of wanted to see it above the high of that whole structure, but she's having a real hard time to Shift momentum back to the upside here. Man, I'm literally falling asleep. Very likely to be stopped out and very happy to be so too. Stop should be lower, but this gave it enough time to... I'm not interested anymore. Get the hourly close in 45 seconds. Probably be stopped out sooner than that. This makes sense to give it more room. It's just gonna be the last trade of the day, so why not? The first and the last. I still like the idea, I like the area, but price is just there's no juice on the move. Hourly close. Kind of want to add. It's not going to be a good idea. Or is it? Yeah, probably not the best thing to do. After that last push up, I put it back at where it was before. That wick low at 66. Gave it a shot. It's just... There's a big wall here. Probably if it pops, it could be somewhat of a move towards the current range high. I think 166 is definitely out of the question. why do I have the feeling it's gonna stop me and then try to move above 92s? Remind me to not trade rollover week next time, please. Price is even more compressed than yesterday. Not sure how that's even possible, but it is. It's just torture to watch. So I basically waited almost 90 minutes to not trade and then put on a position and then take a loss. I'm kind of happy to be stopped out if you want NASDAQ. Really hope she's somewhat more volatile tomorrow after the news before FOMC, because this is brutal price action to get involved in. Not something I'm looking for, at least. Thank you very much. And I'm gonna keep it at that too. I don't want to flip short. I don't want to look for longs anymore. There's no juice in it for me. I'm also looking for some bigger plays, and it's not gonna happen, it seems, once again. So I think I'll better lock everything up and come back tomorrow. I think that's the smartest thing to do. Tried in the end here, that makes sense. Everything is bullish, profile wise. Timing might be wrong. There's just no volume. It is what it is. So that said, I'll be back tomorrow. I'm not gonna trade this anymore. This does not make any sense. Once again, it's even more compressed than yesterday, more tiny range than yesterday. So even though now we're kind of dropping. Anyway, I'll see everyone tomorrow. Tomorrow, better price action, better volume, more volatility, better trades. Stay safe. I'll see everyone tomorrow. Peace.